You ever notice how some people can get complimented all day and still feel worthless when they're alone? Like somebody can tell you you're talented, attractive, smart, chosen, and somehow your brain still goes, yeah, but if they really knew me, they wouldn't say that. That right there? That's one of the biggest lies the devil wants you to believe. Not just that you made mistakes, but that your mistakes became your identity. And a lot of people are walking around carrying shame like it's their real name. They smile in public. They joke around. They post online. But deep down, they secretly believe they're too broken to ever fully change. And if you've ever felt that way, this video is for you. Because the enemy doesn't always destroy people with chaos. Sometimes he destroys people with lies they repeat to themselves every single day. The scary part is, most lies don't sound evil at first. They sound familiar. I'll never be enough. I always mess things up. God probably gave up on me already. I'm too far gone. This is just who I am. And when you hear something long enough, eventually you stop questioning it. You start building your life around it. That's why insecurity is so dangerous. Not because it makes you feel bad for a moment, but because it slowly changes how you move through life. You stop applying for opportunities. You stop opening up to people. You stop praying boldly. You stop trying. Because deep down, you already convinced yourself failure is guaranteed. And honestly, a lot of us learned these lies early. Maybe from people. Maybe from rejection. Maybe from things we regret. Maybe from growing up feeling unnoticed. One embarrassing moment. One betrayal. One failure. And suddenly your whole identity starts getting built around pain. That's how shame works. Shame doesn't just say, you did something bad. Shame says, you are bad. There's a difference. Because guilt can lead to growth. But shame keeps you stuck. It keeps replaying old versions of you in your head, even after you're trying to change. And some people watching this right now, you're still mentally living inside a version of yourself from years ago. A version that was confused, lost, immature, broken. But you keep dragging that version into your future like chains around your ankles. Meanwhile, God is trying to move you forward. That's the real battle a lot of people don't talk about. Not just sin. Identity. Because if the devil can confuse your identity, he can control your decisions. Think about it. If you believe you're unwanted, you'll settle for less. If you believe you're weak, you'll avoid hard things. If you believe you're dirty, you'll hide from God instead of running toward him. That's why the enemy attacks your mind so much. Because your life usually follows the direction of your strongest beliefs. And honestly, some people aren't losing battles because they're not talented. They're losing because internally they already surrendered. They already decided. This is who I'll always be. But one thing I've been learning recently is this. You cannot heal while agreeing with lies about yourself. You can't keep speaking defeat over your life and expect peace to grow there. And no, this isn't about pretending you're perfect. That's fake. We all have flaws. We all have moments we regret. We all have thoughts we're not proud of. But your worst moment is not your permanent identity. Read that again mentally. Your worst moment is not your permanent identity. Some of you keep introducing yourself to the future using information from your past, and it's destroying your confidence. The enemy loves keeping people trapped in cycles. Same insecurity, same temptation, same fear, same self-hatred. Because a trapped mind is easier to control. But healing starts when you finally question the voice you've been listening to. Seriously, ask yourself, who told me I was worthless? Who told me I could never change? Who told me God stopped loving me? Because a lot of the thoughts you treat like facts were planted there through pain. And pain is a terrible narrator. Pain exaggerates. Pain lies. Pain makes temporary seasons feel permanent. That's why you have to be careful what you repeatedly say about yourself. Because eventually your mind starts believing it. One thing that changed me was realizing you talk to yourself more than anyone else does. So if your inner voice is constantly attacking you, you'll feel exhausted even in silence. Some people don't need enemies around them. Their own thoughts already tear them apart daily. And maybe that's you right now. Maybe outwardly you look okay, but internally you're constantly fighting thoughts like, I'm behind in life. I'm not good enough. Everybody else has purpose except me. I keep failing God. I'll never really change. But listen carefully. Growth is rarely loud. Sometimes growth looks like getting back up again, praying again, trying again, choosing not to quit. That matters more than you think. The devil wants perfectionism because perfectionism leads to hopelessness. The second you mess up, you feel disqualified. But real healing? Real faith? It's built through consistency, honesty, and getting back up, not pretending you never struggle. And I think people need to hear this more. You are not the only person fighting silent battles. A lot of people feel ashamed of things they never talk about. Addictions, regret, loneliness, comparison, feeling spiritually numb. But isolation is where lies grow the fastest. That's why hiding everything usually makes it worse. And no, I'm not saying go tell everybody your business. But stop suffering in silence like you were meant to carry everything alone. Talk to God honestly. Talk to someone wise you trust. Journal your thoughts. Replace constant negative input with truth. Little things matter. Because healing usually starts small before it becomes visible. And another thing, stop measuring your worth by your worst days. Everybody has bad days. Everybody has moments where they feel weak. That doesn't erase your value. Rain doesn't mean the sun disappeared. It just means clouds are temporary. Some of you have been in a dark season so long that you forgot light still exists. But it does. And this might sound simple, but sometimes the first step toward freedom is just refusing to agree with the lie anymore. Not overnight transformation. Not fake positivity. Just saying, no, I'm not staying trapped in this mindset forever. That decision matters. Because every strong comeback starts in the mind first. Before confidence becomes visible, it becomes believable internally. And before your life changes, your identity usually does first. So here's what I want you to remember after this video. The devil wants you ashamed, silent, insecure, convinced you'll never change. Because people who lose hope stop fighting. But you are not beyond healing. You are not disqualified from growth. And you are not defined by the lowest moment of your life. Start challenging the lies you repeat to yourself. Catch them, question them, replace them, even if it feels awkward at first. And tonight, before you sleep, take 5 minutes alone. No scrolling, no distractions, and ask yourself honestly, what lies about myself have I been believing for too long? Write them down if you need to, because you can't break free from something you refuse to identify. And if this video spoke to you, don't just watch it and move on. Actually apply something from it. One small step, one honest prayer, one healthier thought, one decision not to quit. That's how change starts. We're all growing, we're all healing, and we're not giving up.